American Airlines has decided to cancel hundreds of flights. This all began over the weekend. They're planning on canceling hundreds more per day as a result of their labor shortage. I mean, it's one of the reasons that they cited, which is pretty infuriating when you consider the fact that they decided to furlough or lay off as many as 30,000 of their employees after taking quite a bit of money in federal aid during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, according to CNBC, about 6% of the airline's mainline schedule, or 190 flights, were canceled on Sunday, and that's according to the flight tracking site FlightAware. An internal company list showed about half of those were because of unavailable flight crews. On Saturday, about 4% of its mainline schedule, or 123 flights, were canceled, and 106 were canceled on Monday. So the company is projecting to cancel more flights moving forward, about 50 to 80 flight cancellations per day going forward. And I want to read the reasoning from their spokesperson, Shannon Gibson, because we need to debunk, or at least analyze the reasoning that they're giving, right? So Gilson, the spokesperson, says this: the first few weeks of June have brought unprecedented weather to our largest hubs, heavily impacting our operation and causing delays, canceled flights, and disruption to crew members' schedules and our customers' plans. And that is true. There have been some weather conditions that have impacted some flights, but the main reason that they give has to do with the labor shortage. They say that, combined with the labor shortage some of our vendors are contending with, and the incredibly quick ramp up of customer demand, has led us to build in additional resilience, and certainly to our operation by adjusting a fraction of our scheduled flying through mid-July. So yes, flights and travel has ramped up, right? People are getting vaccinated, knock on wood, thankfully. And so they want to travel, they want to see their families, they want to go on vacation, they want to get out of their houses. This is something that the airline industry should have expected, and I would argue that they did expect. But even though they took, American Airlines specifically, $5.8 billion in PPP money through the CARES Act, and then an additional $3.8 billion from Biden's COVID relief package, they still decided to lay off 30,000 of their employees. And so when you do that, what do you think you're communicating to your employees? That includes flight attendants, pilots, all of that. You're communicating that even though you're gonna take tens of billions of dollars from the federal government in aid, you still see your employees as disposable. You'll get rid of them, you'll furlough them, you'll lay them off. And when employees feel disposable, what do? They might look for other work. This is happening with the restaurant industry as well. So I think what we're experiencing with labor shortages right now is this rebellion against some employers who have consistently communicated to their workers that they mean nothing, absolutely nothing to them.
Yes, look, there could be some weather issues. Is that in any way the real reason for them canceling the flights, etc.? No, come on. They're throwing that in there as a distraction, right? If they had all their employees and they're making money off those flights, the weather is in the past. They wouldn't cancel the future flights. So it's a very weak sauce excuse. The real heart of the issue is the employees. But there's a second issue here. Look, you've got the usual stuff that Anna referred to. If a small business took like $10 more than it should have, and it laid off one employee, it'd be in a world of trouble, right? Giant companies can lay off tens of thousands of people. Nobody's gonna do accountability, okay? That isn't it. Like, there's no way that's gonna happen. And so, but the second issue is wages suck. And so people are now reluctant to go back in, especially if they don't have another way to care for the kids, right? And look, if you get a babysitter in most areas, or you have to do daycare or something along those lines, and almost everybody has to, even if your kids are going to school, they get out at 2 o'clock, you don't get out till 5, 6 o'clock, right? So you need to have some sort of daycare, right? That'll eat up one of your income. Then you're like, wait, why am I going back to work?
Might as well stay home.
Might as well stay home, and at least I'm with my kids, right? And at least I don't have to bust my ass and this and that and all this stuff, right? Because the wages are so ridiculously low that it provides a disincentive to go back in. And the answer that corporate Republicans and Democrats have is maybe we should cut their unemployment earlier and quicker. And no, the correct answer is higher wages. And look, the good news is that now these companies are hurting so much for employees. When I was in Colorado a couple of weeks ago, there was signs everywhere on McDonald's, Taco Bell, $15 an hour. I saw one that said $18 an hour. They're like, please, please work for us. Yeah, finally. And even then, it's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, it also, I hope, makes workers understand the kind of power that they really have. Because these companies are not profitable without the hard work of the employees. They're the ones who generate the revenue and the profits for the employers, for the corporations. They get treated like crap. They get told that they're disposable the minute that there's a crisis. I mean, the whole point of that federal aid was to prevent these companies from laying people off in the first place, right? And so when you look at the airline companies and the giant infusion of cash that they got through the various bills that were passed during the coronavirus pandemic, it's frustrating to see them. By the way, American Airlines was one of the companies that was trying to get its employees to engage in voluntary work because of their labor shortage.
Yeah.
No, not voluntary work. Stop treating your employees as if they're disposable and as if they're worthless. And maybe they'll enjoy working for you, maybe they'll come back. But I mean, employees were the first to bear the brunt of these firings and the coronavirus pandemic. I'm not surprised that this is the reaction that they've gotten as flights start ramping up again.
Yeah, and they wanted their employees to do voluntary work. Well, they voluntarily decided not to show up. And so now they're canceling all those flights.
Exactly.
Pay them more and you'll be shocked. A lot of them will come back right away. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.